Hi, Facebook buddies. Mary here. Um, I started this tile last week and I haven't gotten back to it. Just want to put it in the kiln for its first fire. I did do a video start to finish from drawing to whatnot, and I just haven't gotten a chance to cut it down. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a dove here, and I've ganged together a bunch of photos. That's one of my tiles, and these are photographs and drawings of tiles. So I'm just looking at all 6 of those pictures at once, so I'm not copying ones. And I just picked out ones that I liked some aspect of them, and then I just go at it. So this one is just drawn, and I thought I wanted him pretty, sort of one of those fancy doves, like one of the ones I've got pictured. So, and I've just roughed him in with a little underglaze. That's underglaze right here. I'm just wiping it back just a little bit. So somewhere I have a pencil. So I'm really gonna go, I'm gonna move his head because I think I'd like it cocked sideways. So I'm just gonna spit on my rag and I'm gonna move his head this way. All right, so I think that will be more interesting. There we go. And I'm going to just center line for his head. That's better. And that means I'm probably going to have to change his neck a little bit. So all I'm doing is spitting on my rag because I'm too lazy to walk to the sink to get water. All right, so I'm gonna, they usually have pretty round, long necks, so I'm gonna lengthen his neck, shorten his body here. So that means that right there has gotta be, I might as well fix that right now. So that's gotta be background. So I've got some of my chunky glazes here, and I'm just gonna use that. I can find my cobalt blue. There's my cobalt blue. Here it is. Okay. Some cobalt blue. Oh yeah. So I'm just going to bring this color back down. Oh yeah. To identify where that his neck is. Same with this one. So that'll just help me see where I'm going. And looks like I did some scraping on that with a on my strange tools. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, see, I got these. I bought a set for a friend of mine that does a lot of palette painting, and then I thought, I think I'll buy a set for me too. So, usually sometimes I'll let it dry a little bit, but at least that's gonna get me. And sometimes I can just take color right on it and put it on. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. All right, so good. I still think that head's a little big, so I might have to come back. All right, but that'll get me started. And while I'm down here, I might put a little more right there and right here. Okay, maybe here. Yeah. All right, so, and then you can just take a clean it up. Okay, so that head's still too big, but I think I'll do the rest of the drawing just with a paintbrush. So I'm just gonna take I think I'm gonna, I had this beautiful purple, I don't know what I did with it, here it is, 6363, 63, isn't that pretty? That's a pretty purpley blue. So, I got some of that. And, it's one of my homemade, but it doesn't look like what it's supposed to yet. Because I try to get them close, and you see I've sort of failed on that one. And it's bluer than it is purple. It'll fire this color though. So, okay, so I'm just gonna take and I'm gonna go ahead, because that purple is nice. And I'm gonna gray it down a little bit and try to keep my shadows consistent. Just make them up as I go though, pretty much. So I'm just, and this brush is a little bit small for me. I like a bigger brush, and I'm gonna go get a bigger brush. Bigger is better for me. Somewhere I have where did I put my alizarin crimson? Yeah, I should straighten out my glazes before I got started. So I keep the glazes, once again, in paint tubes, right? Because I used to be a painter and it just makes me happy to see them in tubes, but some colors are not coming out of the tubes well. So my red that I made is just dried in the tube right away, so not so good. And somewhere I have some medium. Okay. So I'm just gonna start to get some shadow here behind here, and it's going to be a little, maybe I should make it a pigeon, because this white against the white of the chicken is not going to really work that well, is it? Yeah, I might change it into a pigeon. What does a pigeon represent? I don't think I've ever done a pigeon before. I've done a lot of doves. So what does a pigeon represent? Well, sure are a lot of pigeons. Every man? Could it be every man? I don't know. What do you think? So we'll see, because usually if the muse wants it, it'll work, you know. So, and I do, ganged in my pictures, have a couple of pigeons there. It was more for the anatomy, which is so similar to dove. But hey, it is what it is. The muse had an idea, and it wasn't mine. All right, so I'm coming down below her hair, and this is the tail. And I think I will sort of change that tail a little bit. So it's like that, so coming sideways. So that's gonna, over here is gonna be blue. What do I do with my palette knife? Oh my, I really need to clean my table. So I'm gonna add glaze with a palette knife, yep. On this nice hard tile, so hey. And I don't know what I did with my funny tile. Okay, so there. So I mixed up a little cobalt blue glaze with my alizarin glaze to get a heavier dark shadow back here. And I might, after I get this on, do a little trailing. I'm going to go ahead and darken up the shadow up here. All right. Darken the shadow in here. And now I'm using a sort of a teal glaze with an alizarin crimson to even darken it down. I hardly ever use black. I pretty much mix some value of a color that I like. While I'm here, I might just add a little of that dark and give a little fewer more shadows in here to my boy, my chicken. All right, so we're getting close now to, let me see, and some of the pigeon pictures I see, they have a white-ish, and some they have a darkish beak. I think I'll sort of give a darkish here. So I did take a little bit of my black and a little bit of cobalt blue together for that, and I'm gonna just, I think I'm gonna have, I've got a pigeon here with yellow eyes. I sort of like that. So I think I'll start with black and then fix it up some. And I don't know, I guess maybe I should have some, he's perched on this hair, so I guess I should have some reference to. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back and pick up some lighter color. For highlights, and this is like a peachy color that I use a lot in faces. And this is one of my glazes right here. And I guess maybe there'd be a little bit of highlight on his claws. And I might just put a highlight down that beak a little bit. So I think these pretty much roughed in. I'm just going to go ahead and mix up some light blue to try to find the background again. Here, looks like I forgot to finish this bird too, so I can. And this is just the first coat. This, all this tile has underneath it is a white, plain white glaze matte. So while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and, even while it's soaking wet, I'm gonna, this is a combination of purple and dark blue, but it fires really dark brown, so it's good. And I'm just gonna rough in, put some lines right through the white glaze. Okay, while I'm at it, I might go ahead and add some to the hair here. Okay, and it looks like I could use one right over here on this bird. Some of these glazes are, yeah, that's a, and I guess I need to indicate his mouth a little bit. And so the next thing I somewhere I have a trailer that I trail a raised white. I usually keep it here. Oh my, where is it? Don't see it. So, yeah. While I'm at it, while I've got you, before I turn off the video, I'm just going to go ahead and add some yellow. So this is a yellow ochre color, and this is one of mine. And there you go. But and you see how it's pretty close to the way it's gonna fire. So that one's successful, some are not. Still working on them. I want them to look the same going in and out. That's my goal in life, to make glazes that look the same going in and out, and the same value. Don't chalk out. And it's sort of fun. I love inventing things. I always have been that way ever since I was a kid. I was liking to invent things. So while I'm in here, I'm going to just go ahead and finish up just the beginnings of this. Was a meadowlark, meadowlark. The meadowlark sings even when there's a storm, and everything's meadowlark sings. So meadowlark is a sort of a positive image in the midst of not so good things going on. So this one is what I call cadmium yellow medium. It's really more cadmium yellow dark. So that one does not look the right color. See, it doesn't look right yet. I'm working on it. I've got a better one somewhere that does. Here you go. This one is better. This is a cadmium yellow medium, and it does look the color. So, I forgot the little tiny. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick up a little orange, my cad red. I made this beautiful cad red, but it dried out right away, and I don't want them to dry out right away. It dried out in the tube. I had to cut the tube open, get it back out, and I've got it soaking. Try to save the day. Worst comes to worst. Dry it out and stick it in a coffee grinder. Reconstitute it now. So I got this blacky kind of, but I don't want it too blacky, so I've got some teal mixed in with this color, and then their wings sort of go like this, and they have sort of a mask here, a dark, depends. And then their tail has a little bit of dark in it, so. And this is the first fire I can, so I've got a little, what do you call it? Sparrow. The sparrow is humility, the joy of being little. He's just, and they tend to have, it depends on the sparrows, got a little bit of yellow up in here and sometimes a little bit there. But they're just sort of plain brown and very nondescript little birds. But we know that God has his eye on the sparrow, so hey. Yep. So, and then I'm going to try to find a really nice white. I've got a really good one here. I call it marshmallow white, but so it's nice. It looks white going in, and it fires really nice. Which is, I have other whites that are off white going in and fire very white. But what I want is I want it to look as white as possible. So this one is pretty good. There's only one problem with this one. I can't remember the recipe. I didn't write it down, or wherever I wrote it down. And so I'm just adding a little. And then I'll go ahead and trail a little in there. So just get the dark of his eyes and maybe. There we go. So that's a, and looks like I missed some hair in here. Yep. So I'll take care of that now, might as well. Then I'm gonna stick, I gotta do something here, and then I'm gonna stick it in the kiln, and away we go for the first fire. See what we got before we move on. Sometimes they're really ugly in the first fire. And then they turn out, the second or third fire comes along, and oh my gosh. So I'm gonna just go ahead and add some of this white right in here to his tail. There. While I'm here, I might. So this is my thick chunky glazes. They don't fire this three-dimensional. I wish they would. But they are three-dimensional, and they hold the brush stroke. So. Yeah, there we go. Maybe get a little light here. And I think I'll pink this up a little bit here. We should have a blushing chicken. So I've got this red over here. Maybe make it blush just a little bit, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Gonna make this a little yellow because it's up against this very red. Very red. Okay. Yeah, so, and what I missed a little hair here. And I'm gonna bring some dark in here. It's teal going in. So there'll be a teal line right there. Might look nice. All right, so all I need is to do something here. And what I thought is I'd just add some decals for the first fire because I got some I didn't use in some other tile I had here, and it's soaking here for days. So I'm just gonna flop these in. Now this is going to be a cone 6 fire, so these will fire back quite a bit. But it'll give me something as a base for the next layer of glaze to come through. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I have any more in there. Yeah, oh, that is sloppy water. Let me see if I find a few more. Oh, I found this one, that went in something else. And the trouble is I'm not sure which side is up. So I'm just gonna put it right here. It either will take or it won't take. No big deal. Okay, I went and got some water that is not so horrible. And so I'm just going to lay a few more of these in there. These are different size. It would be nice if I had the same size, but since this is going to fire way back, I'm not too worried. So, I think that's ready for its first fire, except I need that raised white. What the heck did I do with my raised white? There it is. I see it at my other work table. So here it is. I make it from scratch. You can buy a raised white from, I think, Mako. Hello? Hello? No, you aren't. No, you aren't, hon. No, you aren't. Bye-bye. So, I'm going to go ahead and put some highlights in his eyes. Maybe put some kind of little indication. So this is white being trailed in for highlights. And okay. My chicken. And here's my little, that's a little too much white. So that's easy enough. Let that dry for a little while. And I can fix it. So in the meantime, these things have been, and so I'm going ahead and putting some more of these, and I'm just going to take a blade and cut this along here, and then I can put the straight line like that, and let those decals, and I think I got one more for the other side, so that'll be the start of stuff for her. There we go. So you've got to let this dry. Your white, your decals dry 24 hours before you can fire them. But I'm just here loading the. So since I have a piece left, I'm just gonna do something with it. Yeah. I'm just gonna go up into this corner with it. Yep, there we go. And put it right over that glaze, and we'll see how that works out. It's the first fire, and as I say, I fire lots of times, so get rid of the excess. And it looks like I lost the trail line a bit, so we'll go like that. And I think it's ready for the first fire. So yeah, not bad. Maybe I'll put a few raised white lines in back here, into the curves here. Create some believe they do have some dots in here. And I guess I forgot his feet too, so I'll go like that, and then when that dries, I'll come back and highlight here. So maybe these curves, I'll come in there. Here's some here. And this texture, so it should be slightly raised, and the white is slightly raised too, so there. Yeah, I sort of like that. Just because you know that Van Gogh is one of my favorite painters of all time, probably my favorite painter. And I'm going to come right up into the, woohoo, cut right through my decal. Not a big deal, I'll just stick that piece down there. There you go. And there you go. And that's all it is, it's fit to print. And I can see if I can just get rid of some of that white. Yeah. I mean, because it looks like he has buggy eyes. There we go. All right. That's a good place to stop for a. I think he needs a dark eye up here. I think I lost it when I was adding the white. Here we go. Okay. All right, that's going in the kiln. Now I'm going to let the decals dry, and I will take a silicone or a sponge. You can even take a rag, but my rags here are all pretty yucky. Well, this one's not as bad as some, so I could dab off some of the moisture, and that I'm also pressing it downward. So the main thing with the decal is to get any air that's underneath there out from under. Now, of course, there was glaze here, so there's going to be that too. There was some glaze here, so, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. And unless you paid a lot for the decals, I didn't pay a lot for these. I bought a lot of them way back when. I love buying ugly decals and then using them in ways to make them beautiful. All right, so that's all the news that's fit to print. I like this one. You know, I think I might put one more there if I can find one. I don't have one. Okay, that's going in the kiln. Get that big kiln going.